So what is stagflation? Stagflation is defined as when unemployment and inflation are over 5%. Previously, economists didn't think this would ever happen because economists felt that only inflation occurred when the economy was so hot that they couldn't keep up with supply and then the prices would go up. But it didn't contemplate that unemployment going up because the sales environment deteriorated. And economists used a thing called the Phillips curve. But in 1975, the Phillips curve went out the window. And what they learned that the effect of supply shock, what we're going through now with all the supply chain problems, all the restrictions, and then the fact that you can't get employees, an adequate number of employees to fill whatever product or service that you offer. And so it's these supply problems, both employees and products, that are causing not only inflation, but causing stagflation because the economy is deteriorating because businesses can't execute due to the lack of labor and the lack of supplies. Now, the interesting thing, and these are some eye opening things for you, is that previously, the previous stagflation period was 1974 to 1982. And that message is strap it on. This isn't an overnight thing that's going to go away. It took three recessions in 1980, 81, and 82. And you had a president similar to the one we have now that I think was anti business. And I mean, Jimmy Carter was famous for restricting deductions of restaurant meals for entertainment, the three martini rule, all this kind of stuff. And he was, very rigid, a great person, but I don't think he really understood the economy overall. And I think that's kind of what we've got going on now, where we're not exploring these different things that can be done to improve the economy. Number one is simply oil. So the fact that we have the supply shock that we had in 1974. See, in 1973, the Arabs embargoed the U.S. on oil. Now, we were a main producer ourselves, but we were still importing from the Arabs, and they were angry at us for supporting Israel in the 73 war that Israel had, I guess, with Egypt. And so that caused a supply shock, which caused the economy go down because, does this sound familiar? The price of gasoline and oil products and natural gas skyrocketed, went up 200-300%. Like back then, it was from 28 cents a gallon to, oh my gosh, $1.05. Can you imagine paying $1.05 for dollar gasoline? So right now, in all 50 states, we're over $4.50 and zooming further. California, I think, is almost at $7 a gallon because they have that hefty $1.29 a gallon, and they charge their full 10.25% sales tax. So that's why I think they're around $7 and everybody else is approaching $5. But those are supply shocks. It's going to affect your business. I mean, there's no political spin here. These are things that we business owners have to adapt to or we're gone. So we're in this period, and it's not going to go away overnight because some of these things over the last year and but basically the Biden administration have kind of been hardwired into the economy, that we're not going to improve domestic oil production. And if you look back at it, that was the basis for the Trump economy, was that he allowed all the fracking and oil production and increased the oil leases and then also lowered the tax rate. One of the things that lowering the tax rate has to do is oil is not a high success rate. There's a lot of the wells that are drilled at great expense don't come in. So the higher the tax rate, that means they drill fewer wells and get less oil, because if you have a high tax and you're going to tax the successful ones, it's harder to pay for the failures. And that seems to be something our current administration doesn't understand. So, and our whole economy is kind of geared to the price of oil. If the oil is really expensive, then consumers can't buy the products that are being produced because the cost of that is being flowed through, and hence we have stagflation. Now, we may be really lucky because the consumers in the U.S. are buying a lot, and that's probably with all that money they've been given to the government and the fact that unemployment is so low. And the definition of a recession is 2 quarters in a row where the economy declines. And it looks like the second quarter of this year, 2022, that we may not have a decline, that it may go up. But most economists are betting that the third and fourth quarter will be down, and that by the first quarter of 2023, it will be a recession. And in that case, it will be stagflation, because we're going to continue to have these high prices and unemployment's going to start going up.